Are you somebody who's getting into coding? Well, me too. So I'm actually new to coding. I'm currently in the military and I'm transitioning on the way transitioning out. And I'm about to start a boot camp so that way once I get out of the army, hopefully all goes well. I'll become a software engineer, So that'll be pretty cool. But before I get to that spot, I have to put in the hard work and hours to actually practice and learn these things. So the whole purpose of me recording this is to just reteach it to somebody. So I want to be able to teach it so that way a sixth grader can understand it. That's a good way, a good principle that I hear a lot. And then that's a way that you could know that you've mastered that concept is that you're able to teach it to other people. So I'm on here doing coding challenges and things. And secondly, I just want to encourage and motivate some people that just because you've never done software engineering, or you've never done any type of programming, does not mean you can't do it. I've never touched any type of programming, never done any code, any of that stuff, but here I am, literally making videos on how to do these things. So I'm just learning it, then I'm reteaching it to you guys. That's all I'm doing. And third, one point I want to make out is that I am currently doing Galvanized Hacker Reactor is what I think they call their course, their boot camp. So I'm in the prep course right now, and I'm about to start the boot camp within the next couple months. So some cool things to look forward to. But as of right now, to keep my studying up, what I'm doing is I'm on Udemy. If you don't know what Udemy is, this is not sponsored, by the way. I mean, think about it, guys. I have like 50 subscribers. It's not sponsored, and it's just a great asset that the military lets you use for free. Udemy is just pretty much a tech and communication, soft skills slash soft skills kind of mm, like learning platform, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's a learning platform, and on there they have a whole bunch of cool courses. Like I study for Security Plus on there. I'm studying for right now JavaScript. So I'm taking the JavaScript. I'll show it up here on the screen somewhere. But I'm taking the JavaScript Zero to Hero course by Jonas. I forgot his last name. It's going to be up here on the screen. And if you guys want to follow along with me, then I would love that. But essentially, what he has in this course is, he'll teach you some things, and he has coding challenges. So I'm going to be doing the coding challenges, and then I'm also going to be making videos on particular topics. Like I said, the whole purpose of this is for me to learn it, then teach it back to you guys. Hopefully, you guys get some information out of it. This is how I'm going about it. You don't have to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm no professional by any means. This is just how I'm doing it. So, with that being said, today we're going to be talking about logical operators. We're going to be doing a coding challenge on them. So let's go ahead and get into the coding challenge. Here we go. Okay, for those of you who don't know what I'm in right now, I am in VS Code. This is essentially a software IDE, integrated. I forgot what IDE stands for. It's like integrated something something. But essentially, it's allows you to run your code all at the same time, so that way you don't have to put it into something that makes you run the code. From my understanding, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull up the coding challenge. He's pretty much has it in a PDF right here. So as you can see, we're gonna be going. We're going. So I've already done a couple of these coding challenges. I might make videos on these, but so far I'm a little bit in. I'm maybe like 2 hours or so into this Udemy course. But essentially, we're gonna be doing coding challenge number 3, and so there are two gymnastic teams, dolphins and koalas. They compete against each other 3 times. The winner with the highest average score wins a trophy. So, from what I'm understanding is we're going to be making some type of function that is, going to involve these dolphin and koala teams, and they're going to compete against each other 3 times. I'm pretty sure that's pretty key. And the winner with the highest average score wins the trophy. So, yeah. Your task: calculate the average score for each of them, each team, using the test data below. Compare the team's average scores to determine the winner of the competition and print it to the console. Don't forget that there can be a draw, so test for that as well. Draw means they have the same average score. Uh, Number 3, bonus 1. Include a requirement for each for a minimum score of 100. With this rule, a team only wins if it has a higher score than the other team, and in the same time a score of at least 100 points. Hint, use a logical operator to test for minimum score as well as multiple else if blocks. Bonus number 2, these are just extra things I guess he's adding in here, but we'll definitely try them. Our minimum score also applies to a draw. So a draw only happens when both teams have the same score and both have a score greater or equal than 100 points. Otherwise, no team wins the trophy. Test data. So here's all our test data. Dolphin score, blah blah blah. So he wishes us luck. Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna kind of shrink it down, put it off to the side. Who here is drinking caffeine? Come on, guys. You're not drinking caffeine. What are you doing? Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this my best shot. Like I said before, I'm in the works of learning this as well, but so that way, the way I'm gonna be able to teach you guys and also myself too is if I screw up, I'm gonna go back over the video and watch it and make sure everything that I'm doing is correct. So that way you're not wasting your time watching the wrong stuff. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll go over, give my methodology, and then I'll tell you if it's correct or not. And if anything is wrong, I'll tell you what exactly was wrong and what the right answer is. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. So it's telling us that we do need to calculate the average score for each team using the test data below. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the test data and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it into this right here. So that way, when we're looking at this, we don't have to keep, or I don't have to keep glancing back and forth. So this is the Dolphin scores and the Dolphin scores again. Okay, so we're gonna get an average for each team. All right, so in order to do this, we're just gonna make a variable or a constant. We're gonna do average Dolphin score. Dolphin scores. And we're going to set that equal to 96 plus 108 plus 89. And we're going to put this in parentheses. We're going to put in parentheses because because parentheses have a higher precedent than all the other things. So it's going to get to the parentheses first. And then we're going to divide that by 3 because that's how many total. And that's going to give us the sum. So yeah. Next we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for the koalas. So constant average koalas score equals parentheses 88 plus 91 plus 110 divided by 3. Alright, so that's essentially the first thing that we have to do. And since we're going to go ahead and do the data bonus one to, we'll go ahead and we'll do that after. We'll just change some things around. So next we're going to move on to step 2. Alright, so another good key point real quick before we move on to number 2 is to just add, this is what I'm doing right now is called pseudocode. So pseudocode is literally just code that is explaining what your code is actually doing. So we're just going to describe this a little bit. It's good practice from what I understand. It helps, if other people have to look at your code to essentially tell them exactly what your code is doing, because they're not used, so they don't understand. It's also a good way for you to remember, so that way if you have to look back at it, you don't have to keep thinking, oh, what did I mean by that or this or that, so just a good way of practice is using pseudocode to explain things. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so we're going to be using a lot of if-else statements, and yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to repeat step 2 real quick. So compare the team's averages scores to determine the winner of the competition and print it to the console. So it wants us to print, essentially run, a if-else statement. If you don't know what an if-else statement is, it's pretty much, if this first thing happens, then if it's true, it's going to return this first thing. Else, if it's not true, it's going to return the second thing. Or it's going to do the second thing, and it's not necessarily sometimes going to return something, but that's essentially what an if-else statement is. And yeah, so don't forget that there can be a draw. So we're gonna get to that if there is a draw. So we might do if else statement, which essentially is the same thing. It's just adding another if to it, another action. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you're anything like me, you're a visual learner. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just setting up the way I want my if else statement to look like. So else if, and I'll get to this here in a second exactly what these mean. So this is essentially, I could be making a mistake here. This is just how I've been doing it. It looks neat to me. Maybe I could, no, I'm just gonna keep it like this. So yeah, so if average dolphin score is greater than the average koala score, and then that's what you're going to put in parentheses. You're going to put some type of, you know, comparison. So if this is greater than that, then this is going to happen. So what's going to happen is we're going to console.log. We're going to log it to the console. This command essentially just makes it prompt up on the console, or, you know, log a message to the console in a string most of the time. And we're going to put a little string. We're going to use the single quotes, and we're just going to put because obviously if the dolphins is greater than the koalas, then dolphins look to be the winner this year. We'll just, I don't know, something like, you know, something funny, something cool, something relevant. Else if, essentially meaning otherwise. We're gonna also explain our code a little bit. So if dolphins is or has a higher score than koalas, prompt and quote. We're just gonna copy and paste this. Oh snap. Boom. Dolphins look to be the winner this year. Otherwise, there we go. Alright, so next we're just going to compare it backwards. So we're going to say average koala score is greater than average dolphin score. So essentially meaning, you know, if the koalas have a higher score, I completely spelled dolphins wrong. I felt like something was off there. Huh. Okay. Hey, I might be illiterate, but we're gonna teach ourselves to be able to be software engineers and developers here. Okay. Okay, so essentially we're gonna console.log. We'll just do the same thing, but we'll replace it with koalas. So quotes, boom. Come back here, replace this with koalas. Make sure I spell koalas right. Okay. And else, we might want to put another else if statement. We could just leave it. We could just leave it like this, and then what we could do is console.log looks to be a draw, because obviously the only other option is for it to be a draw is because, you know, if the dolphins is greater than the koalas, then it's gonna be the dolphins look to be the winner this year. But if the koalas are greater than dolphins, then it's going to be koalas look to be the winner this year. On the other hand, there's no other options except for there to be a tie, from my understanding. So, you could just say if anything else, that would be what prompts the console. This looks to be a draw. So, could keep it like that, but because we're gonna have to add other things, we are also gonna have to add, if there's a minimum score of 100 and things like that. So we're gonna get to that. So next, let's move on to what we're gonna do after this. So after this, we're going to test to see which one essentially is more. So we are going to see exactly which one's got more. So we have our own little page that we're working on. So I'm gonna pull that up. Alright, so if you look right here, this is the page that we're essentially referring to by the console. So I'll show you what the console is. So if you right click and do inspect, this right here is the console. So as we can already see, it's prompt Dolphins look to be the winner this year. So from that, you could probably assume that Dolphins have the higher score. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this to the side, and we're gonna set it off to the side for a second, and I'll show it to you guys every time that it needs to be up there on the screen. So yeah, it looks like the Dolphins have a higher score, so that's a good thing. So next we're gonna move on to the next portion of this problem. Okay, as you can see right here, we kind of added a little extra thing. So I don't think it really matters, but in my mind, I'm kind of wondering about it, but I don't think so. But I just did else if the average, or we could do this. Maybe not. No. Okay. So what I did was I just added another else if statement, and I said if the koala score is equal to the dolphin score, the weekend console.log looks to be a draw. So I don't think there was a difference because there's no other option really, but that's essentially this data 1. So we're gonna move to data 2 or data bonus 1, and we're gonna perform that. So it's gonna have a couple extra things for us to do. So we're just gonna go down a little bit, and then we're gonna do the same thing, same concept we did for all these, but we're just gonna do it for this data set, the second one. So yeah, so we're gonna have to create, so we're just gonna mark all this out. We could just highlight all of it, and then, oh, maybe you can't. So we're gonna do, so if you do a slash and an asterisk, and then wherever you do slash and asterisk, or asterisk and slash again, it will essentially mark all that out. So that way, that problem's out of the way. Next, we're moving on to the second part. Okay. So, constant average dolphin score equals. Oh, and let me explain something really quick. So where I put this one equal, so there's equal, and then there's triple equal. There's also a thing called double equal, but we won't worry about that right now from what I've been told. It's kind of not that important, but yeah. Alright, so there's a couple different signs for equal. So there's single equal, there's a thing called double equal, but we're not going to discuss that as I've been told not to worry about it. And then triple equal. So single equal is like this case scenario where you're assigning a value, and then this one, triple equal, would be comparing. So 5 equal to sum. So according to this, that would be true because we set sum equal to 5, and now 5 should be equal to sum because this quote unquote sum variable is equal to 5. So triple is comparison and single is an assignment operator. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So back to what we were talking about is, will average dolphins sum is we're looking at these right here is 97 plus 112 plus 101, and divide that by 3, and then constant average koala score equal to 109 plus 95 plus 123. So as you can see, we're getting higher in the numbers, and we're most definitely going to have some type of average of plus 100. So that's what it's referring to, is include a requirement for a minimum score of 100. With this rule, the team only has to team has not only win, but also have a score of 100 and a score higher than the other teams. So that's the whole point of this second one. So we're good. This is the values now. We've set it to these variables, and now we're gonna work into the functions. So if we're just gonna set our stuff up, else if, definitely gonna use another one of those. And I just like to put a couple extra spaces between. I don't know, it's just some habit that I've created, but yeah. We'll just leave it like that for right now. So what we got so far is include a requirement for a minimum score of 100. With this rule, team only wins if it has a higher score than the other team, and at the same time a score of at least 100 points. So if average dolphin score is greater than the average koala score, and so this assignment right here means and, hint the the and signs. So once you put these, you can add another variable or another condition, is what these are called. Like, this is under this condition, this thing happens. So and we're making and is equal to, and average dolphin score is equal to, is greater than or equal to, because we want to make sure that if it's greater than or equal to 100, then if that's the case, console.log, and we'll just do the same statement. Looks like, Dolphins are the winners this year. Boom. Else if, we'll just do we can copy this and put this here. Copy this and put this here, and we'll just change this to koalas. And so we're just going to switch this around. So now, if the dolphins is less than, which essentially means the koala has a greater score than, and so we're going to have to change this to koalas. The koala score is greater than or equal to 100. Then it looks like the koalas look to be the winner this year. Else, let's see what else they want us to do. Else console.log looks to be a draw. Same kind of concept. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go take a look back at that page now where we have the console at, and we're gonna see if anything. We're gonna see who's the winner here and see if our code kind of worked. Okay, so if you look right here, we're gonna refresh the page. So we refreshed it and we're getting nothing in here, so we probably did something wrong. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what the issue was that if I do Control Z here a little bit, you see that I didn't put that console.log. So if you don't put console.log, it's not gonna really give you any errors, but it's not gonna log the thing that you wanted to log. So we just had it sitting there. So since the koalas were the winners, I'll show you the page one more time and refresh it. Refreshing it essentially allows all these commands to rerun through, and so that way you can see what the values are to all these things. So koalas look to be the winner this year, and that's because the koalas have the higher score. and equal out to at least 100 or greater than 100. So we're gonna mark all these out, and we're gonna do this last data bonus. Alright, so first things first we do is we're just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this right here, because this is what we need again, but this time we're gonna change the values. So we're just gonna go inside there, backspace that, and we're gonna go off these values. So 97 plus 112 plus 101 all divided by 3. Okay, and now we're gonna do the same thing for the koalas. So it's gonna be 109 plus 95 plus 106 all divided by 3. Okay, so essentially this one, if we read it correctly, minimum score also applies to a draw. So a draw only happens when both teams have the same score and both have a score greater or equal to 100 points. Otherwise, no team wins the trophy. So, with that being said, I'm going to review this a little bit and then come back and start working on it. Alright, so essentially the only thing that's going to change here is the draw portion. So what we're going to do is take this command right here. Boom. Copy and paste it into there. And then we're going to take this console.log. Boom. And we're going to paste it in there. Now we're going to review this, because whenever you copy and paste anything, you just want to make sure you got it correct. So if the average dolphin score is greater than the koalas and the average dolphin score is greater than or equal to 100, then the dolphins look to be the winner this year. We'll keep that space there. Else if, same thing. Boom. But the dolphins is less than the koalas and the koala score is greater than or equal to 100, then we're going to return console.log. Console.log, koalas look to be the winner this year. Else if, one more. Okay, so I just wrote a little bit of code. I'm gonna explain what it does. So we already know what this portion does. We explained that, we went over that in these other parts. So essentially it's asking if both teams have the same score and both the scores are above or equal to 100, then essentially it's a draw. But if not, nobody wins unless, one of the teams have one of these conditions. So the Dolphins score, so if the Dolphins score equals the koala score, which is they both have the same score, and the Dolphins score is greater than 100 and the koala score is greater than 100, then we're going to console.log. Hooray! Oh wait. Hooray! Both teams win today. Or something like that. So, else console.assert. I've never seen that. Console.log. Nobody. We're just gonna say go home. Alright. So we're gonna run through this code one more time. So if that, the average Dolphins score is higher than the koalas and is equal to or greater than 100, Dolphins looks like to be the winner this year. Vice versa, the koalas will be the winner this year if the koalas are equal to 100 and higher than the Dolphins. Else if the average Dolphins score and koala score is equal and both of them are greater than or equal to 100, they will, both teams win. Or if none of that happens, go home. Nobody's winner. So let's pull this browser up one more time. We're gonna refresh it and see what the condition statement would be. Hooray, both teams win today. So it looks to be that they're both the same amount. Yeah. So that's pretty much that. I'm gonna rewatch the video and make sure, or I'm gonna watch the video and make sure that everything I did is correct. I'm gonna let you know if it's correct. If what is not correct, I'll explain that, and then that'll be it. All right, cool, guys. So essentially, everything that I went over is correct, and yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like you don't actually need that extra else if statement, but I just put it to make myself feel better. So if you guys could do that on your own, that's awesome, amazing. I hope I'm encouraging you guys, giving you some motivation, because as you can see, I'm not the best programmer, man. I just started like maybe a month and a half ago, so I'm really just trying to, progress my life and just learn to be a software engineer. So that's what we're doing, and in order to do that, I feel like I can best learn fast and more efficient if I just teach what I learned. So it's not the best high quality teaching. That's why it's free. That's why it's here on YouTube. But I hope it can benefit you and give you some motivation as well. With that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for watching the video. If you're honestly starting this journey with in the same boots that I am in, I would love for you to hop on my Discord. The link's in the description down below. Love to talk to you. Love to check up on you. You know, pass methodologies back and forth. Talk with each other. Learn. Help each other learn. That's the whole point of the Discord server. And yeah, also, with that being said, if any of you are in the market for a PC or anything, I do PC builds, if you can tell from my other videos on this channel. If you're interested, check out the link down below. Don't feel pressure or anything. Yeah. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me some video ideas you want to see. And once again, thank you guys so much. I couldn't be making these videos and I couldn't be doing what I want to do if it's not for you. So, appreciate it. Thank you and see you in the next one. Peace out.